Hello, beautiful. Hello, how are you? I hope that you are well. It is cold out here. It's very early in the morning, and I wanted to get this in before my day gets fully started. It has already started. I start my day early, actually. About around 4:30 is when I first get up, and I start doing some of my breathing and such. If I can fully get out, I do some of my sound meditations very early in the morning, but my day starts really early. It's around 8 o'clock now. So I want to try to put this in here, get this in here, because we have a long day as we typically do. But anyway, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I hope that you are well. I hope that you are smiling. I hope you're doing your breathing exercises and you're doing your visualization. You're holding those thoughts in your mind for those 20 seconds every day, starting out on the good foot. Remember, we talked about that. Check out my video on that about starting off the right way every day, programming your day before you even get out of bed, doing that. All right. Always I'm sharing tips and tools with you to make you a better you, to make you beautiful inside and out, beautiful, radiant, beautiful inside and out. And watch my video when I talk about beauty, why I'm always saying hello beautiful, and why I use the words beautiful. We are to be beautiful, beautiful inside and out. Yes, indeed. I'm here. I gotta get this tea. This tea is not even hot anymore. Drinking my green tea. I drink green tea every morning. That's part of my regimen. I wasn't a big fan of green tea for a long time, and it used to make me feel really sick. And then I realized what was happening. It was because I was sipping my tea too long. So if you were like me, my husband and I both, we just had that tea bag in there and just be in there, wait till the tea cool. You drink it, get all these gastrointestinal issues. But read the boxes if you're not, if you were like me and didn't read the box on the proper way to prepare each tea that you drink. And because this is medicine. This is medicine. This is daily medicine for my body. I drink it straight. I don't put any kind of sweetener in it. I may put a little squirt of lemon in here. I usually like to drink it kind of warm or hot. I've allowed this to get warm, but I want to get it down. This is also good in terms of weight loss because it helps to curb your appetite. I find that to be very good as my cycle is approaching, as the flow of my cycle is approaching. When you start to get those sweet cravings and hunger cravings, usually it's like sugar and carbs that you start wanting during that time. This helps to curb your appetite a bit, and progressing through the flow and that week after, so that you don't start, but it's part of my daily thing that I do. But anyway, just sharing some tips with you all. There's another tea that I'll tell you about at another time, but I want to get to the focus of this video, which is talking about silence and the power of silence. I wrote down a few little things, so I'm gonna look down because I want to make sure I get this in. I don't want to do a whole bunch of takes on this. But the power of silence, and when I'm speaking about the power of silence, I'm talking about it from the perspective of as a woman who who wants to carry herself as a lady, and how you use silence to your advantage, to getting certain things that you want, and the power of your voice when you do use it, right? So proper silence goes along with correct communication, right? Silence is a form of communication, but silence balanced out with proper verbal speech to others, right? Knowing how to use your words in a way that is powerful and most advantageous for you. We can talk ourselves into trouble and we can talk ourselves out of a good thing and out of good blessings by just speaking too much. Can I get an ashe? Can I get an amen? Yes, indeed. I have been guilty of this, and this is something you learn over time. This is something that the older women would usually, the old school women will tell you, say, stop talking so much. Shush, 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 shush. My grandma, she's just like, shush, stop talking so much. Because really you do. And especially when it comes down with dealing with men, if you're married, learning when to use that mouth and when to keep quiet, when to chill. Y'all know I don't have my rubber band. I had to change it out to get some. I had to change mine out, but I've had to write the word silence on my arm sometimes as a reminder to me, because sometimes I might get to talking a little bit too much, and it can create some contention and agitation and stuff like that. And even for guys, if there are some men who are watching this right now, young men in particular, some of you guys, what I noticed, the young guys, one of the reasons why some of you all may not be getting the respect that you want is because some of y'all talk a little bit too much. Y'all talk too much. Think about them old school dads. Now, I'm not saying the old school guys were all perfect, but they were able to stay in their masculinity and in their power by not talking so much. You see what I'm saying? And as women, we can stay in our femininity and in our power as women by not always talking so much. There is a feminine aspect of talking and communication, absolutely. I'm not taking anything away from that. But you reveal a little bit too much on your hand when you talk too much. And sometimes you start to say things that are not quite true. Sometimes you start saying some things that are a little bit too true and unnecessary when you talk a little too much. So that's what I'm speaking about here. In addition, in working with your children, sometimes not talking so much with them, saying what you, hey, I need you to go and take care of that. Go and get that garbage. The next time you up on them, you didn't move, right? You coming in there, that gets them moving, right? That gets them moving. That's something in the classroom. I had to learn how to do that because you start talking too much. And the more you talk, it starts to decrease the value of your words. Let me say that again. The more you talk, it decreases the value of your words, right? So use fewer words, and that's me. I'm guilty of it, quite loquacious at times. So I have to reel it back in. I have to say silent. Okay, let me get quiet. Let me not talk. You don't always have to have a response, ladies. You don't always have to say something, right? You actually can be quite powerful in your silence, like, wow. Well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Yes, you can do that with your children. Definitely do that with your husband, your man. Ladies, those of you who may be dating, if you're not married, this is a good approach of finding out a whole lot about a man. You talking with him, let him do most of the talking. You just ask them questions, so it shows that you're being an attentive listener. And you ask him questions and get him to talk. Now, I'm going to tell you, men who know the scoop, men who know what time it is, they're going to get you talking. They want to get you gabbing so they know what you're looking for. So they say, yeah, and I want my husband, and I want him to do this, and he got to be like this, and he got to be God-fearing, and all this other stuff. And so he going to play that role. Yeah, I love the Lord. I love the Lord. You know, he gonna play all the roles. Yes, and I want to get married, and I want to have children. You know, he might tell you all kinds of stuff. Yeah, and I read, and I get up and I meditate, and I eat like this. And, you know, if he really wants you, he may say all kinds of things. And then after he get them goods or whatever, he be out. Out like Scout. You know what I mean? That's how them old school players do. They get you talking. But I'm saying to you, this is game. Peep game. You get quiet. Let him talk. Ask questions. This is for my dating ladies, okay? Let him talk. You ask questions, all right? This whole thing, let me reel it back in because I feel like I'm going all over. I want y'all to follow with me. The power of silence. Now, there's something going on. Today is the 8th. There is a protest going on that's supposed to be going on from the 8th to Veterans Day, which is the 11th, out there in California. And you have a lot of first responders, you have people military, you have all these people protesting because they don't like these mandates. Now, when I talk about the power of silence, this is a form of a silence of science. Say, okay, we just gonna step on out. We gonna not be on the job. We not gonna allow y'all to treat us like that. We just gonna walk off. That's a power of silence that they're using. And the nerve, I mean, let me step onto the side a minute and think about the nerve of all of that. Just not even a year ago, you saw all these commercials like, oh, we thank you, first responders. Oh, you are our heroes. And how just right after that, businesses along with, or should I say, federal government from this administration putting pressure on businesses, and businesses actually following through with the disrespect of the same people who were in there taking care of the sick, the shut-in. They were the ones who were interacting with this stuff more than anybody else. And how dare they come around and say, You don't get it by what, December 8th, by January this, I think they said January 4th or something to that effect, they're going to fire you? What? That shows no honor, no respect. You're finding out with the veterans. Veterans are losing their pensions. They put in real time. A lot of them put in real time, wartime, and losing their pensions, their money, everything they sacrificed. I give a lot of respect and honor to veterans at this time after I've learned a great deal about it, particularly, you know, in the conscious community. A lot of times people have things, and you fighting the white man's war and the beast and things like that. First of all, any country has to have a military. I think Costa Rica is probably one of the only places. I just learned that they don't have a military. They decided to use that money for their infrastructure and their health and everything. But that's a small country. We're dealing with a big and powerful nation. All right, so we have to have a military. But the key thing is who's in charge, and that's been the biggest issue. But with regards to the military itself, not to get off on a tangent with that, but as I parted with this homeschooling and working with my son, I learned a lot more about the military and about blacks in particularly in the military. And, and we have African Americans, foundational black Americans, and not just foundational African Americans, but blacks have made up at least 20%, 20 to 25% of the armed forces at any point in time in our modern fighting history. Yet we've never made up over 14% of the nation's population. We have more representation in the military. You see, that's something. And we fought in every war, even starting way back, French and Indian, Revolutionary War. We have always fought toe to toe in this country, even at a time when we didn't have rights, even at a time when we were not considered citizens. So, you know, I respect the military, and I respect soldiers and those who are willing to put their lives on the line, because it is true. We are able to have certain freedoms and comforts because we have a fighting army, and people don't want to stand up against the United States Army. Unfortunately, we have a lot of other weaknesses that have infiltrated through this country, and a lot of it has gone through our leadership. These are attacks on American citizens, and it is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. And so that protest is a type of protest of silence, using power of silence, walking away, using your dollars even to walk away from people who are not treating you well, for people who are not respecting you, right? We can see many avenues in which silence can be a very powerful way to operate in this world. And so I'm just helping you to look at the expansiveness of silence. We've moved into this thing in our culture where people just run off at the mouth and everybody's yipping, yapping. It actually weakens you to talk so much. It actually weakens you to talk so much. We have people talking about everything, revealing all kinds of secrets and stuff. It weakens you to talk so much. Leave some things for silent. Leave some things. I don't believe that anyone should know everything about you. No. Leave that silence. That's between you. That's between you and your spiritual ancestors, between you and your angels, between you and your God. Let that be. Some things just need to go with you. Some things just might need to die with you. That's just my opinion. You might disagree with it. You let it out. You let it out to the cosmos. You do your exercises to let whatever stress, your confessionals, but you don't need to be confessing stuff on this here screen, and you don't need to be telling everybody all your business, and you don't need to be sharing every thought you have, right? Be beautiful. Sit back sometimes. Be like, well, you know, that's a pickle. That sounds like a tough situation. Oh, but I think you can do it. Oh, absolutely. You don't have to reveal that ain't gonna work. You know, let's keep it silent sometimes. Don't always put your little negative spin on it or your thought on it. Just play the silence. All right, that's it. So let's try that moving forward. Let's try that. See how you do this week. And if you have a hard time, do like me. Put the word silence on your arm if you need a reminder, and snap that rubber band. I took mine off. I told y'all I have to put another one back on, but snap that rubber band. See my video about that too as a reminder. Some of these tips, these Pavlovian behavioral tips that'll help you to do the things, condition you and program you to do the right things. All right, that's it for now. Be beautiful, have a beautiful, absolutely wonderful day, and use that power of silence. All right, and if you think there's someone who if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you know if there's someone else who might like to see it, please share it along. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so, and I'll see you next time. Peace.